I mean, this is me at the severe end of cut, still training like this. See when I'm full of food, like I'm an absolute animal in the gym. So, Extreme Gym, it's a bodybuilding style gym. This is probably for me the best gym in Scotland that I've been to anyway. The family's lovely, the gym's amazing. So we'll get in, let's get a good session underway, and then we get on with the rest of the day because me and Paul spent too much time talking this morning. How are you guys today? You okay?
I'm alright.
These are like the nicest people ever. It is a great gym. It is absolutely.
You won my heart the very first time you set his foot here, yeah.
Yeah.
A really soft spot.
I'm not bad, I've got a soft spot for you too. Yeah, you're just saying that for the camera. So good, isn't it? Such a good gym. I know. It's literally like such a good gym, but you've got to understand for like someone like me. Hey buddy, okay? You good? For someone like me, it's this is like my playground. I love it. Right, okay. Right, so we'll get into this session. Your mum's gave me a vest, right? She was like, can you wear a vest to fit? I said, of course. She went, there's only a 2XL. I said, I'm in a small now. Right, so, like I said, I do only two exercises on my back. But what I always do is just a warm-up movement of a cable pullover, just to get blood in isolation. It's an isolation movement. I just want to get the blood flow into my back, ready for my lifts. Okay, so right, a little trick with this is use 2 ropes. Make sure they're the same length, because sometimes they're not. And basically, this is just going to allow you to get more of a stretch and more of a pullback. 3 sets, just slowly increasing in weight, not even pushing this to any sort of where near failure. Just like I said, getting blood flow into the back, getting my joints nice and warm, and then we'll get onto our proper lifting. So yeah, just roughly do about 15 reps. But if I start to feel that, you know, there's fatigue or lactate starting to build up, I'll just stop, because that's not the purpose of this exercise for me at this stage. But when you see when I actually train, I actually do go to failure on all my lifts. I actually cringe at stringers now. I used to wear them all the time, but I actually cringe at them. I know it's totally old school, but you just look like a poser. Which I am, but you know. So I'm going to get into my first movement, which is going to be a lat pull down. With the lat pull down, that's more focus on your back width, so hitting your lats. And then my second exercise is just going to be a chest supported row, which is from upper back, and I will just leave that there for my back. Like I said, strong muscle group, so I don't need to do more than that. It still grows. It's just one of the muscle groups for me. My dad has a massive back, and I think it's just carried on. Yeah, like people always ask me what have I done differently for my back, and I'm like, genuinely nothing. I started off, I was training it twice a week alongside my other muscle groups. Then I went down to once a week, but still training it like all the sets that I would usually get in, still growing. Went down to 2 exercises now, and I don't know if it's because I'm cutting and my waist has got smaller, but it still looks like it's growing. So that's it. When you're planning out your training programs, you always have to keep that in mind, is what's your weaker areas, hit them through more sets and more volume throughout the week, and your stronger areas then you pull back on, so you can allocate that volume to your weaker areas. And that's exactly what I'm doing, hence why I do one of my strongest areas with one of my weaker areas on the same day. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so always when you're training any muscle group, you want to do, I always do 2 or 3 warm-up sets or lead-in sets. Get a feel for the movement. And then obviously gradually increase in weight so that then when you do lift, you're pulling to that failure point. So yeah, a common rule of thumb for me with training is not so much with arms, but with my bigger compound movements. What I tend to do is 2 or 3 warm-up sets, building the weight up gradually. Then when I'm doing my working set, I'll do what's called a top set. So that's the highest weight you're going to lift, between 6 to 9 reps usually, pulling to failure. Then I'll drop the weight by 10%. Then I want to lift for about 10 to 15 reps. So that's called a top set and a back off set. So you're only ever actually doing 2 working sets in your compound movements, but because you're pushing them to absolute failure, that's why the intensity is higher, so the volume doesn't need to be as high. So for me, doing like 3-4 sets of 8 to 10 reps, if you've lifted one weight for 10 reps, you should never be able to do that again within that session, because if you push it to that in full intensity and failure, you won't be able to. But the problem is, people won't push to that failure point, and then because they're even thinking, oh well, I've got 2 more sets to that weight, or I've got 3 more sets to that weight, push it to failure, drop the weight, then push that set to failure, and then move on to your next exercise. That's when my physique grew the most actually, was when I changed to top sets and back off sets. Really changed, rather than doing all this junk volume. But again, you do still take the 2 or 3 working sets, 2 or 3 warm-up sets leading into every exercise. So you're still doing 5 sets, but you're just not, you're gearing up for the intensity of the 2 working sets effectively. Okay, one more warm-up set and then we'll go for this. Do you know what, I don't feel too bad today. I thought I was going to feel, I was actually dreading this because I knew I had to do my cardio first and then not eat and then train. Whereas usually I do both together and then eat, but when you do your cardio it triggers your hunger, doesn't it? But I'm actually okay. Busy's good because the more busy you are, yeah, like you say, you don't have to think about hunger as much. But last warm up set and then we'll get into this. Oh no, I track my weights week to week. Progressive overload is the most important thing you can do when you're training, especially when you're cutting, because when you're cutting, you're in a calorie deficit, so you are likely to lose muscle tissue because your body needs to effectively not starve itself. So it's breaking down muscle to then provide it energy. So how you can do your best to combat this is effectively by making sure that you are progressing in your training. So that's either through your weights or through your reps every week. Now, people always get confused and think when you're cutting, you should be lifting more reps, you should be doing more reps because you're going to burn more calories. When you think about a cutting plan, your training shouldn't change other than think about your diet and your cardio for burning fat. Your weight training is to keep your muscle mass or build muscle mass. Like I said, it's very unlikely you're going to build muscle mass in a cut, but you want to maintain as much as possible. And the only way to do that is by ensuring you're progressing. If you're not progressing, if your weights are dropping, that's a sign that you're losing muscle. When you lift the same amount of weight or more, that's a good sign that you're keeping a lot of the muscle mass that you've grown. Well, let's do this. So 9 reps there. The rep range is roughly 6 to 9, but even when I get to the 9, if I feel I can do more, I will do more. Yeah, I always like to get like at least a 1 second pause in my movements, just so that I'm getting the contraction in the muscle. Throwing weight about, yes, you can lift heavier, but rather than activating, let's say 100% of the muscle fibers, you're maybe only activating 70% of your muscle fibers by doing that. So you will still obviously grow, but you're just not going to grow at the same rate than when you're pulling, you're contracting. That's what's going to cause the muscle fibers to rip, not just flinging weights about. Back is very easy, especially that pull down, people swing a lot. I'm always very, very strict with my form. I never ever ego lift. I've been there, I've done it, but now it's more just about contractions, in my muscle groups, making sure it's contracting properly, making sure I feel it. But by doing that first exercise that I've done and getting the blood flow in, my back's primed, ready to go, and actually activates my back a lot better when I do my lat pull down than if I never done that exercise. Right, so back offset now. So we've dropped the weight by around about 10%, and now we're going to try and get anywhere between sort of 10 to 15 reps, or just really the goal is just to beat the rep range that we done last time. But again, if I'd kept that weight the same because of the rate and the way I lifted there, I wouldn't be able to get that 9 again, or I shouldn't. If I am able to get that again, I didn't push hard enough in that first set. So always think about that when you're training. And that's how sets should look in terms of intensity, and that is why you don't have to do as many exercises on that muscle group. Okay. Yeah, I do not for my lat pull downs as such, but I will use wraps for my rowing movement here. I mean, the main movements now that I use wraps for are my rows and also my stiff leg deadlifts, which are on my leg day. Just because without that you can't get the appropriate weight that you need to lift for activating the muscle in the way I need to now. Oh, it's not a wrap, that's a cuff. So upper back focus now. So I've hit obviously my lat exercise, so this one's going to be my upper back based exercise now. We are going to do again a working set the back offset. I need maybe 1 or 2 lead-in sets this time because my back is very warm. This is more just getting a feeling for the movement and starting to build up in weight so that I'm ready for that big lift. So for your lead-in sets, you never ever want to be tiring yourself out. It's not the purpose of them. So would that do like 4 reps there? The whole purpose is, like I say, just building the weight up, ready for that big one so you can then push that to the max effort. I don't believe that your body knows how many reps you're lifting, in the sense of it's your mind that knows that. If you're pushing to that failure point, actually studies have even shown it doesn't matter whether you do 1 rep or 50 reps, it still stimulates the same amount of growth. And it makes sense though, because it's just ultimately, you're just breaking down muscle fibres, so how you'd plan to do that, and if you're pushing to full intensity, it's going to do that. It makes so much sense. I think people get too caught up in it. Obviously you can hit different types of muscle fibres, like your type 2A and 2B, but we won't go into that. But I do think that people do get too caught up in that and should just come in and just lift fucking weights and just try and progress. Simple. I'll always at least try to get the rep. I'll at least try. If I get a clean one, even if I only get a half one, I wouldn't count that in my programme, like as in that I done, say, if it was going for the 6th rep and I never got it, I wouldn't count that. But I do think when you're training to that failure point, you need to at least try, but only on exercises that won't kill you. Don't do it with a squat. Don't do it with a squat. I've actually never been in that position, but there's been a few times where I thought I'm not getting back up. Okay, back offset, and then we'll get into some arms. What you've got to remember as well is when you're doing your back movements, your biceps are activated. So I will be still stimulating some growth in my biceps at this moment as well. So I don't need to hit as many bicep exercises. I'll hit 2, and I'll hit 3 triceps, and then we'll be done. Right, let's do it. Oh man. Yeah, working sets and back offsets, man. I don't like training people, I hate it. Very rare I get someone that will train at the same intensity as me. I mean, this is me at the severe end of cut, still training like this. See when I'm full of food and yeah, got loads of energy in me, but I'm an absolute animal in the gym. And in Dubai, when I was like full bulk mode, in the gym environment, Venus Gym, best gym in the world effectively, that's what they label themselves as, in the bodybuilding gym. and so many great physiques around you. That was probably the best my training's ever been in my life, and hence why I made a lot of progression during that time. Heat-wise, it's not really an issue there because it's heavy air-conned. So, I mean, you would probably struggle more in gyms in the summer here than what you would in countries like that because they're equipped for it. With regards to full of food, it just makes a hell of a difference. I mean, I'm severely depleted now. I don't feel, like I said, I don't feel as bad this week as what I felt probably about 2 weeks ago. My strength and everything's came back, but then I put in a strategical rest day. 2 rest days back to back after we filmed the VT for the show. And after I had that 23-hour day, I was like, 2 days rest, no training, no cardio. And that was after 12 weeks of doing cardio every day, training every day. I took the 2 days rest and I dropped 2 kilos in 2 days. So it just showed that my body needed it at that stage. But now I don't feel as bad. Maybe it's a little bit of adrenaline from the show coming up, knowing the job's nearly done. I don't know, but I feel quite good today. So, on to some arms. Let's do it. I need a little arm pump before the stringer comes out. Like I said, I wouldn't usually wear one, but obviously they're nice people. They asked me to wear the vest, I'll wear the vest. Can't be rude. My mum didn't bring me up that way. I'm still going to be training to failure, but I'm not going to be dropping any lower really than 8 reps for this, just because I feel that you get more blood flow into your muscle groups doing the higher rep ranges. Your smaller muscle groups, I should say. I'm going to decide if I'm going to wear this stringer or not. At least I've tried it on for them. It's not nothing against the actual thing, I just don't like stringers. I'm going to change up. It's too big. It's funny, like, we look back on this after the show, because obviously I still think I've got a little bit of work to do. Still 2 weeks, but I look back on this after the show and actually go, I was actually in really good shape there. But you never appreciate it at the time. Right, okay, so dropping the weight back, we're going to do a little intensity set here. So what I'm going to do is a rest pause set. So I'm going to do round about 15 reps, take 10 seconds rest, and then go to failure on my set after the 10 seconds rest. So 10 seconds rest, then we go again. Fucking hell. Do you know, this is one of my talks from when I was back in Marbella, right? And this used to actually be really tight on me. Look at this. It's too tight on me. It's a fucking dress now. Do you know what? I've got to admit though, this has been one of my easier cuts. It's not been too bad. Not been too bad. There's probably about a week of absolute suffering where, listen, I can handle the fucking hunger. That's never an issue. See, the thing is with hunger, right? It's literally a hormone. So once it elevates, there's only one way to go, it's back down. So like if you hold off for after like, say half an hour when you're feeling fucking ridiculously starving, it goes down, trust me. And then with regards to, it's just energy. It's when your energy starts to dip and your body just feels like this. That's the only way I can explain it. But my mama never raised no quitter. I quite like the hunger. See, days that I'm starving at night, I'm like, I've got a big drop tomorrow. That's the way and it always is. It's like, I know. This morning woke up, today I wasn't meant to weigh myself. I weigh myself on Sundays and Thursdays. I woke up this morning and I was just like, I've dropped. I know I've dropped. And I don't want to weigh myself. But I had a really good sleep last night. So hammer curls now. Just hit another head of the biceps. So 2 heads in your biceps. So this is just making sure we're hitting another head to promote as much growth through there as possible. I've been fucking waiting for the veins to come. It's took time this time. It's funny, guys think that looks great. Girls just don't like it. And I was like, Anton, this time around, don't don't go to that level because girls don't even like it. What do I do? Anton's still going. I like it. Okay, so just a feel inset. Tend to with again the smaller muscle groups, I don't need to do as many lead in sets because you're never really going that heavy. Now I'll go for my first working set now. One thing I really like to do in my hammer curls is do doubles to failure. Then when I fail, drop to singles because you've got a little bit of momentum. I'm not saying swing massively, but you've got a little bit of momentum to get the few more reps out. Again, just promoting a little bit more breakdown of the muscle tissue. Not muscle tissue, muscle fibres I should say. We don't want to break down muscle tissue. Oh, fuck. Absolute killer. I actually feel alright too, it's went quiet this session. It's always a bit different when you're filming sessions, I think. Just kind of enjoy it more, I suppose. It's nice. You know me, like I just come in, fuck it up in here and then leave, but it's been nice because I've been able to like kind of switch off from the usual stuff I think about every day. My head's like absolutely fried at the minute with everything, so it's just nice to actually chat to you and like, you know what I mean? Switch off. Is that I work from home, we've got offices and everything there. Yes, the gym's there, but if I don't get this sort of time away every day, I can't distinguish the difference between work and the gym when I'm there. So when I'm in the gym at the ranch, I'm just constantly thinking about all the work that I've got to do, whereas when I come here, I can switch off from that and zone into my training. I do feel super tight today though, man. I needed that drop. And I said at least the training's done and out the way. It's funny, training's always been such, it's like always been the most important part of my day and the biggest part of my day. It's such an inconvenience now. It's like I've got so much work to do, I just would rather, and I actually enjoy working and enjoy my work more now. So I think after the show, like I'm going to like really take a step back in my training and just do like 2 or 3 times a week, but like really high intensity, like CrossFit or something. Say that now, but I'll be on the show and I won't be able to train to full intensity, and then I'll be like, all right, I'm ready to go back to the gym.